Does estrogen affect your personality? This is sort of a question I hear from a lot of people that just start on hormones or are thinking about it. And it's kind of a complicated answer. For those of you that have taken hormones, how's it been for you? How have you changed after you took your estrogen or after you took your testosterone? There's definitely some changes, but is the hormones changing your personality? Or is it the fact that you're embracing yourself more, that you're just becoming more of who you are, and that really is your personality? It's a hard question to really answer precisely because there's so many aspects to it. Your personality is who you are, but also your personality is a cultural construct. It's constructed partially by what's acceptable within society and who you think you are within that society and how you navigate your identity as this person. And if you identified as a man and now you identify as a woman, there's certain social practices that are now available to you, a lot more. And you can then find other ways to express the parts of yourself that you weren't able to express. I think the biggest part for me that I was really scared about was being a gay man, being read as a gay man. Let me correct that, because I knew I was not gay, and that was the problem, is I wanted to express things femininely, but I would be read as gay, and that was exactly what I knew I was not. And so I had this inner friction of wanting to be myself and wanting to express something, but not finding a means to express it. And so instead, what I did is I pressed it down inside me, that feminine expression, and hid it in such a way where I started to feel like I was hiding something around everyone. I didn't trust myself, and I felt ugly because there was something so deep and repressed within me that I just couldn't connect with people in certain ways through the heart. But once I transitioned, that feminine expression became accessible to me, and suddenly I'm able to give to you and to other people just my heart and being fully open and fully present and fully being there. For those of you that have transitioned, I'm interested to hear if you had some repressed things that you weren't able to express come up. How's it been for you? So back to the question, like, how does your personality change, or does hormones affect your personality? And yes, I'd say yes, but it's intermixed, and I'll just kind of share some of the things that have changed for me. One of the things is I cry a lot more with estrogen. It's made it a lot easier to pull in these emotions, to completely feel them, and to then just release. And it's so relieving. It feels so good. It's my primary method of dealing with conflict. And it's much, much, much better than the masculine form that I used to work with, which was often try and press it to the side as much as possible and come up with a cognitive way of de-escalating it and just giving it some time. But it took energy. You know, like if you have an emotion that's negative and you push it away, excuse me, I have to burp. If you try to push it away, it's going to take energy to do that. And so that feeling of pushing something away takes energy, it's draining. And if I'm pushing too many things away in a day, then I could suddenly just have an outburst of frustration. And for those who've dated men, have you ever had that experience with someone where the man suddenly has a violent outburst verbally or emotionally or somehow, and it's often not the thing that made them upset, which is causing them to be upset, but rather all the other things that have piled on that are causing this? It's really just a symptom rather than the actual thing. Yeah. Helping men see that is sometimes a challenge, but I can relate to that because I've had that experience with testosterone and how it kind of narrows your perception of the world. And with estrogen, it just really expands it in an omnidirectional way. So that's kind of a big thing for me. I had some other things, but I just need to take a sip of water. So interests change. I had a very intense transition moment, like a specific moment where I had a rebirth, and she literally fell into my body like liquid consciousness. And when that happened, I had a very strong shift in who I was. I suddenly experienced the need to speak, which is why I'm speaking to you now. And I had this sense of needing to share with the world some of the things that I learned and some of the things that I was experiencing and express that. And so I just started writing. And that's something that I never did as a man. It was something that I was not interested in. It was something that I didn't want to do. I found stressful and not really the best use of my time. I was terrible at it. And now I write every day, and it's something that I do because I need to. I love doing it. The other thing that I find interesting is I'm more productive now. And I wouldn't say estrogen makes you more productive, but estrogen gives you this ability to draw many connections and switch contexts in ways that I just, as a guy, I was not able to do. You're just so kind of focused with testosterone, like, you can hit targets and what have you, but it's really hard to switch context back and forth because you're in this kind of hunting mentality. For men out there, does that resonate with you, or how have you been with your multitasking? Now with estrogen, I feel like I can do more things and I have more interest to do more things and to create more things. So that's certainly happened. But I wouldn't say any of these things were just not within my personality realm beforehand. It's just they became a lot more important to me as I learned how to express myself and how to be who I was. And so what I say to you, if you're thinking about hormones and thinking about, does my personality change, is that yes, your personality does change, but it's not being changed by the hormones. It's that you are becoming more of who you are, and the hormones are enabling you in changing and aligning your perception with who you are, and the rest of the process of the transition, the body euphoria, the self-acceptance, the moving through your emotional complex is really just going to help you get rid of all the stuff that was just holding you down in the first place. So there you go. I'd love to hear how it's been for you, and what are some of the big things that changed in your personality, or did it change at all? Thank you for joining me today at Tea Time. This is an unedited and unscripted series, by the way. My name is Ashley Adamson. You're at the end of the video. If you haven't, please leave me a comment below and say hello if this is your first time. And hit the subscribe button if you want to see me tomorrow. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later. Bye.